Welcome back to your 49ers Gold Mine. I'm Steven Miranda.
I'm Jeff Ellis. It's Wednesday, January 18th, 2012.
We're going to recap that breathtaking come-from-behind victory over the New Orleans Saints.
Simply fantastic. It's championship weekend, Steven. No one said we'd be here, but we're here, and who's got it better than us?
Nobody! That's right. We're also going to look at the health of some of the 49ers players heading into championship weekend.
Now we're going to share part of our interview that we did earlier today with the wonderful Mindy Bach of Comcast Sports Bay Area, the insider be-all, end-all, and she'll tell us what she's thinking.
That's right. And finally, we'll take a look ahead at the New York Giants.
Should anyone be afraid of a Giant? I mean, really?
Well, no, not these Giants.
I mean, especially if your name's David and that Giant's name is Goliath.
There you go.
Just saying.
Is all, Jeffrey. But here we are. Who would have thought?
Nobody.
No, exactly. At the beginning of the season.
Nobody.
We're deciding, let's do a show on the 49ers.
Nobody. You know why we picked you guys? Do you know why we picked you guys? Because you weren't going to do very well. Because we like you guys, and we knew you weren't going to do well.
And
Brand
we
new
wanted
regime.
to sell you. Even though we figured the season might be, you guys were going to struggle, we were going to talk about you. We were going to build you up. We were going to pump you up. And all of a sudden, we're in the NFC Championship game, baby.
Seriously, we were at the divisional game last week.
Oh,
How
man.
crazy was that? We were on the field.
36-32. Alex Smith didn't lead the Niners back just once. Remember the rollout, the bootleg, and he runs for a touchdown?
Alex runs on his own, and great blocking down there, by the way.
Then New Orleans, Drew Brees threw a pass to Jimmy Graham. Both defenders collided on Patrick Willis. Graham runs for a touchdown, and now there's a minute and 53 left, and we're like, oh, no.
Well, you know what? The entire vibe of the entire crowd, everyone knew field goal, going to overtime.
But no, the Alex Smith and Greg Roman and Harbaugh,
and Coach,
they all decided,
they had a different idea.
We're going to go score a touchdown. Forget overtime, and that is exactly what we did. Jeff and I had the pleasure of standing in the back of the end zone in the very end zone when Vernon Davis caught that touchdown pass. We were there, and this is how crazy it got afterward.
And mind you, here was the play call to Alex Smith from the coach. Vernon Davis on a slant, period. If it's anywhere else, throw it away.
Yeah, and man, the fans were just the place was
Vernon
rocking.
wasn't that open.
And the thing
Alex threaded it in there.
The thing was, Coach said later on in the press conference, I told Alex it was Vernon or nobody.
Nobody.
And who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
That's right.
Vernon Davis, the emotional scene afterwards, honestly, nearly brought tears to my eyes to see him just gushing with emotion. It was such a beautiful thing.
It was all of just everything that he's
the relief in the crowd, you could feel it. So we look ahead now. We can't look back. We got too much to go forward to.
First some good news and then some bad news. The good news is tight end Delanie Walker, who suffered a broken jaw. There you go. In week 16, all the way back in week 16. He is back at practice today, and we figured if he's up running around practicing, he's going to be in the game.
Yeah, hopefully his all-liquid diet included a lot of protein because he's going to need his strength for this game. Now, Ginn Jr. was not available to practice today because of his knee. He was nursing an ankle during the game, and then he tweaked his knee. Didn't tear anything, and so he's going to be gimpy, and they really need him, especially for punts and kickoffs.
Well, two other players that did not practice, center Jonathan Goodwin with his lower left leg. He was just an observer, and that's going to be critical for this game. And free safety Dashon Goldson, Jeffrey, he didn't practice either.
Yeah, so on the Giants side of the field, they haven't been healthier, I don't think, all season, frankly. So that is one thing that you want to be careful now.
But Eli Manning did go home sick today.
I hope he wasn't, too sick. Not. Now, we're going to share with you a little bit of our chat that we had earlier in the day with Mindy Bach of Comcast Sports Bay Area, our be-all, end-all reporter there.
Yeah, first we asked Mindy how Alex Smith must be feeling coming back and getting this victory, and based with all the adversity that he's faced over the last couple of years there in San Francisco.
What's been difficult for him is probably not voicing his opinion because I think he thought he was out of there last year, but this was it. I'm leaving San Francisco. I know at the end of the season he really had the mindset that he was moving on. He was going elsewhere until Jim Harbaugh was hired. And he doesn't talk about that. He doesn't want to dwell on the past. and that's that same attribute. He just focuses on what he needs to do to be a good quarterback. So he's not going to dwell on what happened then, even all the disappointments. It's what made him who he is this season.
Finally, we finished it up with a look ahead to the Giants, which is where we're going next. And she said that the team's biggest concern about the 49ers?
They can't give up big strike of Eli Manning and those receivers. And Eli Manning scored 17 points in the fourth quarter against Green Bay. So that's their biggest concern is limiting those big pass plays to Cruz and Nix and keeping that passing game of Eli Manning somewhat in check. As they say, bend but don't break, cliche. But that certainly applies in this case.
Good stuff from Mindy Bach.
Well, it is always great to have and listen to what Mindy Bach has to say about the team. And Jeffrey, she's quite right. I think if the Niners can control Eli Manning and eliminate those big passes, they're going to be okay in this game. Now, finally, Jeffrey, we'll take a look at those New York Giants ourselves. Obviously, we've already talked about Eli Manning going home sick today with an illness, flu-like symptoms.
Rob Lowe's tweet that he was poisoned is complete nonsense.
Yes.
So don't worry about that.
No, Rob Lowe is actually talking about Big Brother. Crazy.
No, you haven't read Rob's most recent tweets. He really wants to get his name back out there. He needs some film projects. Help him out.
All right, here's the thing. This is defense with offenses that all of a sudden have showed, hey, we can play football too. And that's what you got from both of these teams. You've got some pretty identical-looking teams, but I think that the defensive nod right now goes to the San Francisco 49ers. I think if they can keep Eli in check and they can keep those receivers, Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks and Mario Manningham down, I think the Niners will be able to pull this one out.
My takeaway from the Saints game last week was I have never seen Drew Brees become flustered and frustrated as he did in last weekend's contest. He sometimes had more than 10 seconds to throw the ball, and he was frustrated there was nobody open. That's the defense of the San Francisco 49ers. That's what's going to win this game. The special teams, again, Blake Costanzo, keep your eyes for number 51. He is everywhere flying to the football.
He was balling last week.
And so that is where it's going to be won, is turnovers and special teams and field position, and that's where the 49ers have the biggest advantage. I like them 27-24.
Wow, 27-24. Like Mindy said, it's stopping the quick strike ability of the New York Giants. I think that is, as Jeff alluded to, that's what the Niners did best. They did not let the New Orleans Saints quick strike them. They had to drive down the field, and eventually Brees got frustrated, threw it deep, and he got picked off a couple times. I expect to see that again. I also like the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going a little bit higher. I'm saying 31-27. They'll hold on in the end and do it again. Your Niners will be in the Super Bowl. That's all the time we got. I'm Steven Miranda.
I'm Jeff Ellis. We're looking forward to the thriller at the stick.
49ers Gold Mine. We're out.